What's going on, YouTube? It's Sensei, the place to be chilling. Mr. A&D back to give you guys a Smackdown review, Friday night Smackdown. So this week I am by myself. My partner in crime, Primetime, is currently traveling at the moment, so he's not going to be here this weekend, and that's why this review is coming to you guys a little bit late. And also, Freshman Flo is not here as well, so it's just me. And on a lot of wrestling reviews, the end of this week is going to be just me. So as of right now, I recognize that this audio version of SmackDown and Raw, my wrestling reviews, I'm gonna go back to doing like the video ones. I actually kind of want to do some live streams, but I'm gonna go back to doing the video ones because I feel as though now, since WWE has gone to a different direction and Vince McMahon is not there and Triple H at the helm of things, and things are starting to like come around, we're gonna see his vision and put more effort into it. I feel as though I need to put more effort into these reviews as well. So I was like, well, I would like to come back to be on camera and to, give a better presentation, because sometimes, wrestling is actually trying to get kind of fun to watch again, to be honest with you. And in SmackDown, like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of anything. Honestly, this is more of a tamed type show. I'm not going, once again, every week it's not going to be a home run, and I still don't think Triple H has hit a home run yet on either SmackDown or Raw. But once again, he's working with Vince McMahon rosters that have it on Raw and SmackDown, so they may be a draft afterwards. But for what he has building up to Clash of the Castle and different storylines that he's trying to build up for that, I think he's been doing a decent job. And for the most part, like I said, I thought SmackDown was a decent enough show. I mean, for what happened into it, like the ending segment and a couple other things, it gets a thumbs up show, but it's not like something I will go back and watch again, or is just going on to SmackDown Greatest this thing. And they were celebrating the 1200 episode of SmackDown, so I was just like, okay, well, I mean, it wasn't really nothing special. Like, you go back in history books and they gonna be like, that 1200 episode of SmackDown, man, that shut the game down. It did not. So right now, SmackDown, what we're building to is who is going to face Gunther at Clash of the Castle with a big fatal 5-way tonight. Also, we hear from Ronda Rousey in the beginning segment. Then we have a face-to-face with Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. So those, and of course, we have a Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament first round with Toxic Attraction taking the place of Zoe Starks and Nikita Lyons. And the reason for that, so far what I know, there will be probably more talk about it on the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast this weekend, is that Nikita Lyons, I believe, is unvaccinated. And I know they have some strict laws up there in Canada, like you got to be vaccinated. And I think Zoe Starks will be dealing with an injury. So with that being said, they can't give to Canada. They were in Canada, especially when they're going to be in Canada on Monday. So they spend the weekend up there in Canada. And that's why we got no Usos. Not because they're not vaccinated. I think it has something to do with their DUIs and stuff like that. I'm assuming. I'm not necessarily 100% sure. But that's what like I said. The time you're listening to this, obviously it's Sunday. So we're recording the podcast. So hopefully have it up by Monday morning. But yeah, that's what the thing is. So they replaced with Toxic Attraction, which in my personal opinion, Toxic Attraction should have been the team that should have been up there in the first place if they want to represent NXT, because they're an actual tag team, because it's very rare. We don't get that many tag teams, and I think NXT only has about 2 or 3 women's legit tag teams that are just throwing 2 randoms together. But we're going to see how this thing goes, and we first of all, we kick off SmackDown with Ronda Rousey. She comes in through the crowd, and she walks up to the ring, and she is getting over. Like, people are enjoying Ronda Rousey. And she says she calls out Adam Pearce to lift her suspension. She paid the fine, and now she wants to suspend the lift. But then Adam Pearce comes out. He has security guards on both his sides, and she's like, look, we can do this the easy way, we can do it the hard way. And then she goes, and Adam Pearce sends the security guards to the ring. Ronda gets ready for action, and she comes. She says, "Don't make her choose violence." Well, that's what happens when the security get to the ring, and she punches and kicks them. She does the arm throws and takes them down, everything. Then there was one last guy that was in there. She looking right at Pearce, like, "I'm gonna put him in his arm bar," and he didn't lift her suspension, so she puts him in the armbar. And so that makes Adam Pearce bring out the cops, the real cops, not the at home talent that she can beat up, like the ones with actual tasers and guns on their thing. So you ain't gonna like kick the fuck out of them. So they arrested her, escort her to the back, and put her into the cop car and drive off. It was a decent opener to keep the storyline between Ronda Rousey going and trying to get her back into a badass. But what I'm thinking is happening here is that I don't know if this is their plan, or they're gonna lie and say that this is their plan all along. But I truly believe that the fans want Ronda to just be the world's most dangerous woman. You know what I'm saying? The baddest bitch on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me for using the B word, but I'm saying, but in this context, that's what they want her to be. And during that Vince McMahon time, coming out smiling, coming out being the face, it's like, that's just not who she is. And we know that's not who she is. And she still needs help on the microphone. She is still not good on the microphone. But that's what she, everything Vince McMahon was trying to make her do, that's not who Ronda is. And but now turning her to a badass, saying, I don't give a fuck. Every woman is beneath me. It's almost like a Stone Cold Steve Austin type persona, where it's like, I'm going to be this crazy ass redneck, and I'm going to say what I want to say, do what I want to do, and go against authority, and fans just start liking it. The Stone Cold character was not a face character. The fans just gravitated towards it and became one of the biggest faces of all time. And with Ronda, I think people are just embracing the fact that, she's becoming a badass, which makes it kind of messed up for Liv Morgan, because I think of what they were trying to get at, because Ronda has been booed before, and she has been a heel. So I guess they thought they was going to just go back to the heel way, but right now people are really feeling Ronda at this point. So we're getting ready for the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament, and Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky come from the crowd, and we got a ticket to be here, and they're right behind Michael Cole, where Bayley just is trolling this guy and egging him on, doing the whole Bayley Michael Cole thing, which I think is great while he's trying to call this matchup. And we get a little quick Toxic Attraction reel explaining who they were, because they was there last week, to explain it. And then we start off with Sonya Deville and Natalya. Of course, we're in Canada, so Natalya's going to get cheers and stuff like that for it. But I thought, minus a couple of rough spots, Toxic Attraction looked fine. They were like a legit team, and then they felt like a real tag team with Sonya Deville and Natalya is not the tag team. And on the outside, now when it comes to Toxic Attraction, I'm sitting there thinking like JC Jane and Gigi Doll. I think JC Jane threw Sonya Deville into the barricade right behind the announce table where Bayley was at, and she was like, "You should," just yelling at her, saying, "You should have stayed as a GN." And then JC Jane hits her with a big boot right in Deville's face. So they whooping their asses. As the tire punches Dylan in the corner, and then JJ Dillon hits a blind tag to JC Jane, and then Natalya takes down Dillon and applies a sharpshooter, but then that's when Jane runs in and gets the roll up on Natalya, and Toxic Attraction wins the matchup. So now they're going to the semifinals to face Raquel Gonzalez and Aaliyah. I really think now Toxic Attraction is going all the way towards the end, and I think that either the Raw teams, they kind of eliminate each other, because those teams are both in the 6-woman tag match at Clash of the Castle, and maybe they feel as though that if they cancel out, they get double count out, whatever the case may be, or the fight just breaks down, there's no winner. I think that's maybe where we get our Sasha and Naomi return, maybe. And maybe because right now I don't know if the finals are going to be at Clash of the Castle, but they didn't say when the finals were, and it's like, is it going to be on that Raw before Clash of the Castle or afterwards? We necessarily don't know, or if they're just waiting to let the storyline play out and say that this is going to be a Clash at the Castle as the finals, because if you reveal it being a Clash of the Castle right now, you already give away the finish to this tournament, because why would Alexa Bliss or Io Sky both be in double duty at Clash of the Castle? you give away the finish if you tell when the finals is. But I do think that maybe the finals is at Clash of the Castle, and then it will be Toxic Attraction taking on Sasha Banks and Naomi. I know I'm reaching for it, but I think that's where they get introduced back. Big crowd, big pop, and they come back and they take something that they never lost, and that was their Women's Tag Team Championships. And then we focus on how we're going to build these things back up, or even have plans of how Naomi and Sasha plan on building these things back up, whatever the case may be, a heel or face. But Toxic Attraction, I think, is the team that they'll probably take it off of. So, Roman Reigns is in his office. What I forgot to mention was that after Ronda Rousey's police car pulled away as she was arrested, the big SUV came in there and it was Roman Reigns. He's by himself. There's no Usos here in Canada. So, Sami Zayn's about to knock on his door, and there's a security guard there saying that Roman wants to go speak to you. And then Zayn looks surprised at first. He goes in there, and Zayn is great at doing the comedy stuff and everything. And then Roman says, "Yo, man, how things going?" He said, "Well, actually, things haven't been going too good. It's doing with Jay. Jay's always mad at me, and everything. He coming at me, and I sacrificed myself for the bloodline, and I've been showing my way." And Roman's like, "You know what? Yeah, you have been." But then also, Roman Reigns brings me. He says, "Hey, you still cool with KO?" He said, "Yeah, I mean, we're cool, but we ain't been that cool because he's been on Raw, I've been on SmackDown, so we haven't really seen each other." He says, "Well, when you see him or talk to him, let him know," with emphasis, let him know I don't owe him anything." Remember on Monday where KO told the Usos after he stunned Drew McIntyre, he says, "Hey, tell your tribal chief he owes me one." He's like, "I don't owe him anything." And Zay was like, you're absolutely right. You're the tribal chief, blah, blah. Roman gets up and then Jey Uso calls him, and Roman supposed to pick up the phone, and he does. Jey Uso's like cursing him out and everything like that. And then Roman comes back, and then he said the Uso's not going to be here tonight, but he's still here. He's still part of the bloodline. He can still help him out. He said, "Yeah, you're right." And he says he has a fatal 5-way match coming up for the Intercontinental Championship. And he says, the bloodline could really use the Intercontinental Championship. And Zayn was just like all over it. And he gets fired up and walks off. So, obviously, they're planting the seeds here. I still believe, I still would like to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn team back up to face the Usos at Clash of the Castle for the Unified Tag Team Championship. I think that will be a good. I think maybe all of the bloodline loses their belts at Clash of the Castle. Or I think something's being lost, whether it's being the WWE Universal Championship or whatever they call it, the two belts now, or the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Who knows? Next up, we have Maximum Male Models (MMM) in the ring, and they begin talking. And then as Max Dupree is talking, Hit Road music comes out and it interrupts them, and they go into the ring. And Max Dupree says, "You are not Maximum Male Models material." Blah blah. Hit Road attacks them, takes them all out, and then they start rapping, talking about "So we back," and do like a little rap concert. And it looks like that this may be like a little small feud. The Maximum Male Models taking on Hit Row. It may be a match next week with finally put them in a tag team matchup. I don't know if Triple H is all for the Maximum Male Models gimmick. I don't know if it's gonna be like we're gonna have Hit Row destroy Maximum Male Models to the point where we think of something else to do. Especially with LA Knight, you need to put him back and get him away from this shit. Or if they want to just beef up their tag team division and keep them as a tag team, there's things you can do with it, so we don't know. Karrion Kross is backstage with Scarlett, cuts a promo saying Drew McIntyre. Well, it's kind of like a video put together. It says Drew McIntyre used to be the chosen one. What happened? When he's on, he's the chosen one, like Reigns. When he failed, they choose someone else. Still, they come back to him. Deep down, McIntyre knows the people are wrong to choose him. Fatal 5-way matchup. The winner will take on Gunther at Clash of the Castle. It's Sheamus versus Madcap Moss versus Happy Corbin versus Ricochet versus Sami Zayn. Sami got a massive pop because they're not too far away from his hometown in Canada. And next thing you know, this was a good fatal 5-way matchup. Obviously, I understand Ricochet was in a kind of championship, in a kind of champion before. They actually gave everybody a little bit of time to shine. I still knew that as soon as Sheamus, the only match I want to see is Sheamus and Gunther. Because that'll be a hard hitting matchup that will show bruises. Because Sheamus got a bruise on his leg in this one, and it would just really be a hard hitting contest. Something that I got to see. We go, like I said, everybody gets a little bit of time to shine, and during the match, Ricochet runs in and gets a beautiful Michinoku driver by Sami Zayn, which is broken up. Then Madcap Moss gets a Blue Thunder Bomb. Meanwhile, Sheamus starts giving the beats on the chest and everything like that, and then of course they like it when he did the Sammy. Then he goes up and gives Sammy a white noise from the middle row, kind of like how Drew McIntyre did to Kevin Owens. But then Sammy hurts his arm, and I was like, "Oh God, he really hurt his arm." But then I was like, "Okay, it's part of the story." So he goes to the back. So now it's like a fatal 4-way. So then, once again, Ricochet and Sheamus are really pulling their weight here. I really don't care anything about Corbin, and I knew Madcap Moss is just far away from being there. Sheamus tries to go for a bro kick on Moss, but Moss counts it to a slam. Ricochet hits Madcap Moss with the recoil, or the code breaker, I think it is. And then Ricochet goes to top rope and hits Sheamus with a beautiful shooting star press. I think he stopped doing the 630 because, first of all, like I said, the 630 would be hard to do. You gotta be able to nail that right, or maybe he saved it for the right occasion. Who necessarily knows, but he's been stopped doing the 630. He does that, and then as he goes for the cover, Corbin breaks up the pin. Then Ricochet flips out the end of days, and then it takes down Corbin. And he goes out to the top rope. All of a sudden, here comes the place again all loud because Sami Zayn is coming back down. These people loving everything Sami Zayn is doing, all kinds of offense. Sami Zayn is doing the whole struggle thing, but he's coming back down to the ring, and he comes and he gives Ricochet an explosive suplex in the corner, then gives him the haluva kick and covers, but Corbin pulls him out of the ring, and loud boos, and Corbin whips Sami into the ring post, and then when he gets in the ring, Corbin gets Ricochet for his feet to set up for the end of days, but out of nowhere, Sheamus hits her with a bro kick, and then Sheamus covers Corbin for the win. Sheamus wins. To see Sheamus to go up against Gunther at Clash of the Castle, that right there is going to be something to witness. We have a Viking funeral for the New Day, where it's obviously it's one of them just videos shot off the arena. And I mean, it looked cool in parts. The Vikings, said they knew they were warriors, but the time has passed, and then it showed them burning like a Booty-O's box and the shirt. It was kind of cheesy, but it's wrestling. And then, in the flames, you see like the attacks they gave the New Day and stuff, and the New Day is done. So this may be a match at Clash of the Castle, and the New Day comes back, or it may be something afterwards. I don't know if they're trying to, re-improve the New Day, make it more serious. I don't know what they're necessarily doing, but it does establish giving the Viking Raiders, something to do, and establishing them as a top tag team on SmackDown as well. Because once again, we need tag teams in this tournament, in this division, that we don't necessarily have. Shotzi Blackheart is back. Well, first of all, Kayla Braxton asked SmackDown Women's Champion Liv Morgan about competing after that attack, and Morgan says that she has to be in the ring to compete, so she knows that where she's at, she'll battle Shotzi next. And then Shotzi backstage says that she made a very big mistake agreeing to this match with her arm just injured. So they have basically, Shotzi and Liv Morgan basically have a regular match. There's nothing really special here. Liv pins Shotzi with the Livian or the whatever Liv Morgan's finishing move is when they're leaning up on the ropes. Shotzi took it well, but I mean, like, we got to do something. We got to get that black heart back into Shotzi. You know what I'm saying? We got to definitely get the black heart back into just being Shotzi, because she's just been, out of just nothing. So after she wins the matchup, Shayna Baszler comes out, and Shayna Baszler comes out and just basically just beats down Liv Morgan, gives her a knee to the face, and is about to do her famous arm stomp. And then she says, "No, I'm not going to break your arm here. I'm going to wait till Clash of the Castle and break your arm there. You know, I want to." And then she's about to act like she's going to stomp on it. Liv moves her hand out the way, and she just kicked Liv in the head. And here's the thing. I want Shayna Baszler to look like a complete badass. I don't know if they've completely give up on Liv Morgan. Like, I don't know if she's going to try like pull this win out her ass at Clash of the Castle like she did for Ronda Rousey. But even still, right now they got her look like a straight punk. Like, she is like she's a punk. She's getting bullied right now, and she's a champion. It's like, you know, if you're going to go ahead and make somebody a champion, let's not make them like she's like a whiner a little bit. She cries a lot. It's just like, I'm doing this, you know, for everybody. I'm a fighting champion. Like, Liv, stop. Like, she get on my nerves type thing. And I'm like, I don't know, that's the direction that they wanted to take with Liv Morgan. And now she just come out there like she's got punked by Ronda, punked by Shayna, you know, and everybody does not see her as a credible champion at all. So I was just like, honestly, you probably should just squash her and let Ronda be the champion, to be honest with you. And, you know, and then, but it's like, I don't know what they want to plan to do with the Liv run at all, especially when they try to establish that Shayna Baszler is back to being like, you know, the submission magician or a killer, whatever they want to call her. And it's like, it's kind of like, I want to see her break Liv arm, you know what I'm saying, or do the stop to her arm, whatever the case may be. But right now, they really have Liv Morgan looking like a straight punk. Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre go face to face. Roman Reigns comes out by himself and then tells Montreal, "Acknowledge me." And then there's no Paul Heyman because he got F5 through the table. Still selling the injuries, and there's no Usos because, you know, they couldn't make it by fingers up. So Reigns says he's not here every week, and so he has to correct some stupid things he's heard. If anyone thinks he's at the face of the company or carrying the company on their back, then Drew McIntyre's lying. He's the only man carrying this company on his back. He's the only man carrying this company on his back, and he's the head of the table, tribal chief, all that kind of stuff like that. And while he said McIntyre's beneath him, but then McIntyre's music hits, and then he comes down to the ring wearing his SmackDown 1200 shirt, and he basically says Reigns doesn't deserve to be champion because he's not on every show, he doesn't defend it and stuff like that. Reigns is like, you know, that's a crazy statement to make, basically. And McIntyre was saying that, you know, he had a wise man working for him politically, and the Usos working for him politically. The bloodline protects him. Reigns thinks he's in God mode, but he's just a man. And McIntyre sees the fear and concerns of Reigns he should be. There isn't a man alive that McIntyre cannot tear apart with his bare hands, beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, basically saying. And he said, but why we wait to Clash of Castle? Why don't we just go at it tonight? And then they really started, like, they brawled for a little bit. And so Roman gets some punches in, then McIntyre gets some punches in, and then McIntyre takes down Reigns with a belly to belly. So now in the corner, he's getting loaded up to do the Claymore kick. And as he's about to do it, Sammy gets out, pushes Roman out the way, and takes the Claymore kick. And I was like, oh, snap, Shane proving his worth. So there was when Roman tries to go for a spear suit or a Superman punch, he runs right into a Claymore kick. Like, Drew McIntyre gets right back up, and it's a Claymore kick on Roman Reigns and holds both belts over him. So that's how SmackDown ends. I thought it had a strong ending, and I thought the Fatal 5-Way match was good, so it gets a thumbs up from me. So I'm curious to see, like, the little slow building of what's going to happen at Clash of the Castle, what's going to happen with Sami Zayn. Is he going to, you know, with the bloodline, is Kevin Owens going to join in? They go for the tag team championships. All that stuff is like, you know, I'm actually kind of excited to see where it goes, and that's where I you know, where it should be at. So post any comments down below. How'd you guys enjoy SmackDown? You rated a thumbs up show, thumbs down show. What are you excited? Any more excited for Clash of the Castle, or are you maybe not excited for Clash of the Castle? Post all your comments down below. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed my review. Hit the subscribe button for more wrestling content right here on NC Studios. Like I said, I will be getting back on camera, and I want to say after Clash of the Castle, I want to actually start next week, but I kind of want to wait till Prime is back and everything. So, but most likely, I think I want to most likely probably start after Clash of the Castle, make some new templates and things like that, and get started, put some effort into these reviews as well. So I appreciate you guys riding with me and sticking with me through all these Raw, SmackDown, stuff like that, because like I said, it's been a rough go at it. We wasn't reviewing them things for a while. But post in the comments down below how you feel. So once again, it's NC the place to be. Children, Mr. A&D, and the Nerd Coalition is out.